Ric Bucher joins us, Fox Sports 1, foxsports.com, NBA Insider. He joins us in the Doug Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio. What's the league's reaction been to JJ finally being hired?
People are looking at it two ways. One, that the reason that he got it is because of his relationship with LeBron and the idea that he has a certain look that they can play into him being the next Pat Riley. I mean, they appreciate the thinking that JJ does in his approach to the game. But they also have someone who is going to be amenable to working with all of the people that they have in the front office and all the ideas that come out of there. So, and he was at the right price. I mean, $8 million per is $4 million less than he was making the last time he played, and it is below average for a head coach in the league right now. So the price is right, and by all accounts, but the impression I get is that the front office is also going to have a lot of influence on who his coaching staff is going to be, and that was something aside from the money that Dan Hurley wasn't willing to listen to. And so what I've been told is some of the names that I've heard: Rajon Rondo, potentially Scotty Brooks. I had heard Jared Dudley, but I haven't been able to confirm that. And last time I heard from Dudley, he had not received a call yet. So it appears it's going to be an interesting staff, and not necessarily a staff loaded with prior head coaches. I thought that Dwayne Casey might be in the mix, but I have not heard directly that that's the case. So we'll see where it goes. But I think the bottom line is it's because JJ was readily amenable to working with the Lakers front office.
So one of the reasons they didn't get Danny Hurley was they wanted to dictate who his staff was?
I think there were certain guys that Danny wanted on his staff that they weren't necessarily open to having. And then and honestly, I don't want to put too much on that. I know that they wanted to have some input on who was on his staff, but they didn't get that far down the road with that because the money wasn't close to being good enough for him to make the jump.
It's Doug Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio. All right, Kenny Atkinson, his hiring, what does it mean in Cleveland?
It means that if there was a failing for J.B. Bickerstaff, it was that he wasn't as analytically driven as the front office might have wanted, as Kobe might have wanted him to be, and that's what they're going to get in Atkinson. Certainly, Kenny's major influence is on the defensive side of the ball. JB did a pretty good job there. I think it's a matter of just they feel like analytics could be a bigger part of what they're doing, and Atkinson fits that.
Okay. So what does it mean for their personnel?
Fair question. I mean, my understanding is that that Donovan Mitchell's relationship with JB was one of the things that prompted them to make a change. Where they go with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, we've heard Darius Garland's name out there. The plan is to build around Donovan Mitchell and to do what's necessary to make that happen. The interesting part for me is there's general feeling around the league by the scouts that I talked to that if Evan Mobley had sort of the drop-off, it hasn't evolved the way it has been hoped or expected, it's because he plays better when the ball is in Darius's hands than when it's in Donovan's hands. And the other part for me is, I still haven't heard that, definitively that Donovan is all in on being in Cleveland. So they're going forward with the idea that they want Donovan to be that guy. But I've yet to hear that he's of the same mind, that he's as committed to Cleveland as Cleveland is to him.
Sure. Doug Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio. Why'd Monty Williams get fired?
I'm sorry. Say that again. You broke up.
Why did Monty Williams get fired?
One, it was a bad fit from the start. I mean, that was a case where they gave Monty more money than he could turn down. But he's much better with veteran players than he is with in a rebuild situation, as obviously Detroit is. And then Trajan Langdon just came in and had the opportunity to say, I am going to do this the way that I want to do it. And they were willing, ownership was willing to eat the money. And so you have a new sheriff in town. And he decided that he wants to have his own guy there. And I don't know how committed Monty was to the job at hand. I think it really was a case where it was like it was an offer too good to refuse. He had to take it, but it just was. I don't disagree with making the move because I thought it was a bad fit from the beginning.
No, I do too. If you want to write the $65 million check, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. I won't work for that. Like, there's no tears shed here. So what do they do? What does Trajan Langdon do?
In terms of going out and getting a coach, it's going to be better.
Going out and getting a coach, and what is the plan? I mean, because it's been bad.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a lot of work to be done there in terms of the roster. Obviously, you got a lot of. I got the feeling that Troy Weaver was trying to zig while everybody's zagging, that he was trying to load up on bigs, whether it was using them as trade bait to get the roster that he wanted, or simply it was like, we're going to go big, we're going to play big, we're going to put a wrinkle in this and make everybody adjust to us, and it never quite worked out. I mean, Trajan's got a lot of work to do, and I don't know what his mission statement is at this point. I haven't heard that he has a particular mission statement, so that's really going to dictate how the roster is built and who he gets to be his floor general. And I wish I could tell you specifically what the plan is, but I don't know it at this point.
All right, Ric Bucher.
I honestly, I thought that JJ going there would have made a lot more sense. Because he could have got his coaching chops. People aren't going to pay attention to Detroit. The bar is not set very high. Obviously, he and Trajan have a relationship. That would have made more sense for all concerned in my mind.
I agree. Okay, so now the Lakers hire JJ Redick. Let's circle back to that.
Right? Yeah.
And we can say LeBron didn't have any say in it or whatever, but they're not hiring JJ Redick unless the plan was to have LeBron James play for
Sure.
JJ.
Sure.
Where does that leave Bronny James?
I don't know that the plan has changed at all in terms of going and getting him, whether it's with the 55th pick or as an undrafted free agent, if they can manipulate that. I mean, this whole thing is mind-boggling to me that Rich Paul is saying, well, we won't accept a two-way contract, and that Ronnie's only worked out, as far as I know, to this point, unless something has changed, for the Suns and the Lakers. I've never seen a late second-round pick operating this way. And what it tells me is they're already locked in to him being a Laker, because otherwise, if it's Bronny really not being interested or committed to playing with his dad, then you would look to what's the best team that I can play for, the best situation that I can find. And the only way you do that when you're a late second-round pick is you work out for as many people as possible, because it's not only information gathering for them, but it's information gathering for you. And they're not taking that approach. So it can only be one thing, which is it's already sort of worked out that he's going to be a Laker at some point. And it's just a matter of when.
Agreed. Like the Rich Paul. I get that agents are just, they're trying to be mouthpieces to help their clients. But I mean, some of this stuff has been so laughably false.
Yeah, and generally that happens with players whose talent gives them leverage, and then you can try to leverage it a little bit more. But look, Bronny's a good kid. I think that he can make it as an NBA player. But the jury is definitely out. And when we say make it, I'm talking about like, can he make a roster, and can he get some minutes? That's the level we're talking about.
The saying you don't want a two-way is, it's laughable at best.
And why? Because he's 1 year. He didn't start. He didn't play a whole lot of college. He didn't really have a dominant role in high school. If I were him, I would want to play G League, or at least have the opportunity to play as much as possible, even if it meant going down to the G League and getting game experience. So the whole idea behind we're not going to do a two-way is you're not going to send him down to the G League. I think, and I've seen plenty of guys of his build, of his size, who have benefited from it.
No question about it. That's why the G League exists. He's Ric Bucher. You check him out at foxsports.com and Fox Sports 1. He's the best. Thanks so much, Bucher.
My pleasure.